sometimes the key to turning your life around is relocating. Like just up and leaving, relocating. Don't tell nobody where you are, right? That's what I did. I'm from DC. I'm 59, but I left DC in 96 for Atlanta, right? I just up, left, came to Atlanta and started over. So sometimes that's what we need to get back on the right track. You ain't got to tell nobody where you are. Okay, so, I mean, relocating, especially to certain parts of the country, has its ups and downs, right? So, in DC, you know how we roll. DC, especially, when I was young, all black, 99% black, chocolate city, police department black, everything black, right? For the most part, except for, some of the businesses were ran by Asians or whatever. And really, that didn't start for me until I became an adult. But, so, moving from DC to here, the good thing was it got me out of an abusive relationship where I was gonna soon be unalive. The good and down here to Atlanta, the cost of living is cheaper. Cause in DC, if you don't have a government job, you screwed. I did work for the government in DC. They transferred my position here to Atlanta, but then I went into private industry because if you're a government employee, you know that your salary increases are slow as shit, right? When you go into private industry, your salary increases are big and often, and you can get that salary that you want pretty quickly. So the good thing about relocating, I got my life back on track. Cost of living down here is cheaper. Schools were better no matter, really what neighborhood you moved in. You can make a little bit of money and still live very well, right? The downside of moving to the South, especially if you haven't been raised here. And when I say the South, I'm talking about the deep South. I'm not talking about DC, Virginia, South Carolina. Baby, once you get to the deep South, baby, they not hiding their racism. They not, because they're not used to any pushback down here. I'm still trying to get used to that. I'm like, baby, I'm from DC. I'm from Anacostia, right off Good Hope Road. Like, where they do that at, right? So, like when I moved down here, bought me a home, it was a woman who lived at the end of the street, super racist, called me the N-word. Oh, I had to mess her up. I mean, we got into a physical altercation, and I did what I had to do coming from DC. I caught a charge. They came, locked me up. I had to have a trial, jury, and everything. I had never had a charge. But baby, why was I found not guilty? That's what a good lawyer do for you. He told me, he said, look, these folks down here is racist. He got a jury that kind of looked like me, some didn't. He said, these folks down here is racist. They trying to put you away. This is what you need to do. Had me a jury trial, found not guilty. You are the best. Thank you today. Found not guilty. But baby, that woman made me catch a charge, baby. And if I ain't have a little money for a real attorney, because, baby, sometimes them public defenders ain't going to do it. Ain't no telling what would have happened. So that's the good thing when you move from the north to the south. And I know the DMV is in D.C. is considered south. Well, baby, we talk about the deep south. When you make a move like that, be ready for the cultural shift, because that was surprising. And when I moved here, I was a hood girl from DC. I'm like, no, she didn't just call me the N-word like she do it every day. But I'm here to tell you, I was the last one she called it. They was like, oh, she's been doing that in the neighborhood forever. That's what people was telling me. like my black neighbors. I was like, oh, and nobody ain't never beat her ass. Like nobody had never put hands on her. Like she just feels so comfortable. She caught the right one that day. Once that happened, they say, ooh, she ain't never called nobody a N-word since y'all got into that altercation. All they need is to be taught a lesson. So when you're thinking about relocating, think about the parts of the country you're going to. Especially if you're up north. It's because, baby, it's going to be nothing like what you experienced up there. Some of these folks down here, they don't even know the Civil War is over. Some of these folks down here do not even know the Civil War is over. They be telling me, oh, Heather, you talk too much. You too bold. I'm like, we free now, ain't we? Like, we are free. Do what you need to do to get yourself together. If you want to relocate, relocate. But, just be aware that one state isn't like the other state. And be aware of what can happen when you move to a state where the cost of living is cheaper, like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Just, be aware of what comes with it and be prepared. And I'm talking about people of color. If you're something else, you're going to be cool because you're going to blend right in. I don't care if you white, Latino, y'all going to be cool. But the people of color, be aware it has its positives and its negatives. I don't regret relocating. I don't. But the culture shock was something that I seriously had to get over and overcome, okay? Y'all have a good day.